All right, so we're going to cover my recommended camera and equipment for this business model. Now, before we get into this, I want to let you know that there will be some affiliate links here, so feel free to skip this lecture if you feel like you don't need recommendations for camera equipment or recording equipment, or basically anything that entails this business model and how to make it easier. These are all things, yes, there will be affiliate links, but these are all things that I use in my business and legitimately recommend for this business, right? So this will make your job easier, it will make you produce better content, and it will really help you along the process. Now, my goal is not to sell you in this lecture. I'm not trying to pitch you on any of these products. I'm simply trying to give you my best recommendations, and also I'll give you free alternatives, if you're on a budget, so that you get the best free alternative if you can't afford the one that I'm recommending. So I'll go through and I'll recommend it both for the people out there that are really kind of looking to not spend any money or really kind of put as little money into this as possible to get going, because I know I've been there, I get it, so I'm going to give you the best examples of both. So everything, first and foremost, before we jump into this, I'll be popping pictures of these things up on the screen for you. Everything in this is linked. The camera that I recommend and use is the Lumix G7, okay? The Lumix G7 is a super lightweight camera. It's very versatile, so you can use it in like a vlog setting. You can also carry it. It's very, very light. There's also a lot of different things that come with it. Now, I will put the Lumix G7, and I will also put the Lumix G7 bundle that I bought that was like $100 more, that came with literally everything. It came with like a shotgun mic. It came with an extra battery. It came with a charger. It came with a lens already as well. So I recommend that you start with that bundle. It's a lot cheaper than all the other cameras, but the quality is practically the same. I still use a Lumix G7 in my business every single day. Now, I've since tried DSLRs because a couple of my friends that I network with have them. I don't, to be perfectly honest, and I'm not like a camera or like an editing guy. Like, I'm not like a full on editing head, but like, I personally don't notice any difference between the Lumix and the DSLR, if we're being completely honest. Now, the recommended in the industry, the recommended standard is the DSLR. It's a little bit more expensive, and obviously you're going to have to buy a lens for that most of the time. I recommend the Lumix G7 if you're looking for a high-quality camera that's super affordable, super versatile, meaning you can use it in a number of different settings, comes with a lens that basically adjusts in and out for wide range and, basically a good snipped piece of content if you're looking to record like a targeted YouTube video or a talking head video. That bundle, the starter bundle for the Lumix G7, has lasted me about 2 years, and I've never had to buy another camera. I've never had to buy another bundle. I highly recommend that you start there. Now, if you're really on a budget, I recommend that you use your phone camera. We all have phones. I have an iPhone. I'm sure you have an iPhone or, a Droid or whatever it is that you have. And your phone, chances are, has a really great camera. So if you're on a budget, I recommend that you use your phone camera. Now, your phone camera can record almost as good as a video camera can. It's got slightly less capabilities, but it's really almost up there in quality, and most people, to be perfectly honest, won't know the difference. Now, you can also use your computer and record with a screen recording software as well, and that's 100% free. We'll get into that in a few slides from now. But like I said, if you're on a budget, just use a camera and get yourself a tripod that will hold your camera. A lot of them come with adjustments that will literally just hold your phone, and that's the best free alternative for you if you can't afford a camera, right? Then obviously too, if you have a computer or something like that, you can use screen recording software, and we'll talk about free alternatives for you when we get to that lecture. So moving on to mics and audio now. Now, I use and recommend the Blue Snowball microphone. Now, that's basically a plug-in microphone into your computer. Now, I started off with the recommended industry standard is actually also made by Blue, who's the company, and it's a Blue Yeti. I do not recommend the Blue Yeti. There have been so many people that have had issues with the Blue Yeti. It's a little bit more expensive. It's a little bit better quality when you get it working. And I'm not saying that if you can't get it working, but what I'm saying is the Blue Snowball mic is practically as good, and it comes with zero of the headache. I've bought 2 Yetis in my time, and I think they're both like $115 or something like that. Not worth it. 100% not worth it. They always came with an issue. They always came with a static issue that you had to kind of jump through hoops to, and I spent weeks of my life that I'll never get back trying to fix that. The Blue Snowball microphone, also made by Blue, practically as good, literally just a plug-in microphone into your computer, and then you can use that audio quality to generally increase your audio quality so the people listening can hear better. That's literally what I'm talking to you right now through the computer and through the microphone is my Blue Yeti plugged into my computer, or my Blue Snowball plugged into my computer. Highly recommend the Blue Snowball. It's not that expensive. I want to say it's like 60 to 70 bucks. It's pretty cheap. You can probably find one on sale on eBay. Very, very cheap. Highly recommend that that's a route that you go. Your audio quality is paramount. People, for whatever reason, will stick around to bad video quality and watch a bad video. But if your audio quality sucks, very few people have patience. So this is something that you should take very, very seriously. Now, there are cheap alternatives and ways that you can improve your audio quality. They're not going to be as good as the 3 on the top, but I will talk about them in a second. Either way, if you're not doing anything, you should definitely do at least one of these. So if you're recording from a computer and screen recording, use a Blue Snowball mic. I recommend that. Now, if you're recording from a camera, I recommend using a shotgun mic. Now, the Lumix G7 bundle that I recommended during the camera comes with a shotgun mic attached already. So you already get the shotgun mic in there. Now, how can you use a shotgun mic? Well, a shotgun mic is basically for vlogging, but you can also use it to film courses if you're in like a secluded room. Now, it's not going to give you as good a quality as like the wireless lavalier mic right here, which is something we'll talk about here in a second. I recommend the shotgun mic for people that are just getting started because, like I said, it comes for free in the bundle, so you don't have to buy anything else. And on top of that, you can literally just put it on top of the computer and on top of the camera and press play, and it's already plugged in. You can basically just keep it there like that. It's very, very easy to use. It's not high tech. It's very beginner friendly, and it will increase your audio quality tenfold and make a massive difference. Now, if you really want to get really, really up there, I would recommend a wireless lavalier mic. For the people that are just starting out and kind of on a budget or kind of looking to make this business model and keep their initial purchases as low as possible, don't spring for this. Just completely honest, don't spring for this. I'd recommend investing in a Blue Snowball first and maybe getting the bundle with the shotgun mic. A wireless lavalier mic, I think, cost me $150 or $200 or maybe even $250. I don't remember. Highly, highly recommend it. It has very much increased my audio quality and has also increased my flexibility of where I'm able to go on camera, because when I used to use the shotgun mic, you can only basically stand right in front of the camera. Now, this gives me a little bit more flexibility and better audio quality because obviously it's wireless. That said, it's a little bit more on the expensive side. So the people that are serious about scaling this business model up and getting the best, putting in the best content and best, production quality that they can right from day one, go ahead and get this. But if you're not that person and you're just looking to build the business slowly, or you're just looking to build the business as cheap as possible initially, and then maybe you can come back and, spend some of your profit on some of these things, then that's what I would recommend. Just simply going with like a Blue Snowball or, a shotgun mic, or going after the Lumix, bundle that I talked about before. Now, if you're on a budget and you can't afford any of those, that's totally fine. I've been there. Use your iPhone headphones. I will pop a picture of my iPhone headphones up on the screen right now. Now, I built probably my first 10 to 15 Udemy courses and probably my first 100 or 150 YouTube videos with iPhone headphones. The audio quality wasn't amazing, but it was better than just than literally just using the recording and microphones on your computer, or literally just using the recording and microphones from your camera or your phone, right? Any headphone or any microphone, and your headphones have a microphone and it's going to be right next to your mouth if you're wearing them, any headphones will make a difference in your audio quality. So if you're on a budget, use your iPhone headphones. They're super, super cheap. 99.9% of us have them. If you have an iPhone, or even if you have like an Android, I'm sure it came with headphones. If it didn't, buy iPhone headphones. They're super cheap. I think you can get them for like 10 to 15 bucks. And if you don't want to use iPhone headphones, then you can buy a super cheap lavalier plug and play microphone. You can get them on Amazon for like $10-ish. I won't link any of those, because if you just search for like plug-in lavalier on Amazon, it's like $10. It's like 15 max. You could probably find one for like, $2 to $3 on like a coupon site. Now, moving on to screen recording software. The screen recording software that I recommend is OBS. Now, I've used probably 5 to 10 screen recording softwares in my time, and I've paid ridiculous amounts for screen recording softwares, and I've also used free recording softwares. And even though I've paid a lot for screen recording softwares and ones that swear by like their quality and all the different things that they offer, I still find that OBS is the best one that's out there for me. Now, I'm using OBS currently. It's literally recording the screen as we speak right now. This is OBS. It's free. and I find that it's still the best. I mean, I'm being completely honest with you. It's better, in my opinion, than some of the good paid ones out there. I recommend OBS. It's free. Now, you will need to set it up. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube on how to set it up. It might take you 5 minutes. It's very, very easy to set up. It's very beginner friendly. But if you need something that's more beginner friendly than OBS, it's literally just like you click a button and it records your screen. You don't have to set anything up. Then I recommend Screencast-O-Matic. Now, Screencast-O-Matic is what I started with. Now I use OBS. And with Screencast-O-Matic, you literally, like I said, just hit a button and it starts recording. Now, there is a free and a paid version for Screencast-O-Matic. The paid version is very, very cheap, and I think it's like $9 for the year or like $12 for the year. It's beyond cheap. But you can stick with the free version too. The only difference is the free version puts a little watermark down in the bottom left corner down here, and barely anyone's going to see it anyway. It says Screencast-O-Matic down here, and that's because you're using the free version. So there's a watermark, right? Now, that's the only difference. That and that you can only record for 10 minutes. So it cuts you off at 10 minutes. So when I used to use the free version of Screencast-O-Matic, like 2 years ago, when I hadn't put any money into this business at all and I was just recording, it would cut me off at 10 minutes and not tell me, right? So I might be speaking for like 15 minutes and realize that the last 5 minutes of my video didn't get recorded. So just be careful if you're using the free version of Screencast-O-Matic. Understand that you only have 10 minutes to film a video if you're recording on your screen, right? So these are the two best screen recording softwares for beginners. Like I said, I recommend OBS for 99.9% of you, but if you're very, very, not techie and you need something very, very simple, use Screencast-O-Matic. And then my recommendation would be to, just pay for it. It's $12 a year. It's super cheap. Moving on to editing software. Now, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. That comes with on both Mac and PC. I know some of the Mac people out there are going to swear by Final Cut Pro. Adobe Premiere Pro is better. I think it's better. I think there's so many more things that you can do with it. Obviously, that's subjective, but it's a lot easier to use in my opinion, and it's better. You can use Final Cut Pro if you're on a Mac. That's fine. Do whatever you want, whatever's easiest for you. But I like Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, if you're on a budget, Shotcut is free, and Shotcut is a great software. You see, down here we have Premiere Pro right here, and then I have Shotcut right here. Both of them, I honestly still use Shotcut from time to time just because of the ease of it. If I'm like editing videos for like a secondary YouTube channel, I don't necessarily pull out Adobe Premiere because I don't necessarily 100% care about the quality of that much. I'm just kind of clipping the videos that are already produced high quality on my Adobe Premiere, and I'm doing it very, very fast in Shotcut, and I don't necessarily care that much. So if you're like just looking for something on a budget, Shotcut is the best, in my opinion, the best free editing software out there. Choose one of these and roll with it. If you're not looking to spend money, go with Shotcut. If you are, I think Premiere Pro is like $9.99 a month. I don't even keep track of it because it's not that much. But highly recommend both of these. It's up to you with what you decide. Now, photo editing. Why is photo editing important? Why is it even on here, right? We're not doing any photo editing. Obviously the video editing is important, like Premiere Pro and Shotcut, right? But why is photo editing up here? Well, photo editing is your thumbnails, right? So that's your course thumbnails and your YouTube thumbnails. So that's important on Skillshare, that's important on YouTube, and that's important on Udemy as well, right? So it's super important for creating great course thumbnails, which in the Udemy module specifically, we will talk about why that's super important for converting people and why it's going to sell your course more than anything else. Photo editing is crucial for courses both on Udemy and Skillshare. It is also super important for creating great YouTube thumbnails. Now, your YouTube thumbnail, just like your course thumbnail is going to be what sells your course the most, your YouTube thumbnail is going to be what entices people to click the most. It is super crucial. Highly recommend you invest into a photo editing, some form of photo editing. Now, the best one that I recommend is Photoshop. You'll see I have Photoshop down on the bottom. But if you're looking for a free alternative to Photoshop, if you're on a budget, Canva.com is actually pretty solid for a free thing, and it comes formatted with all sorts of different things. You'll literally see once you log on to Canva.com and sign in, you can like form an Instagram thing. You'll do like a YouTube. There's like a YouTube thing where you can just plug and play into a YouTube dimension. Same thing, and obviously the course thumbnails are the same as YouTube. So it's 1080 by 720 or 1920 by 1080p. It's okay if you don't understand what I'm talking about right now. We'll get into that, so don't stress it. But so I recommend Photoshop. Now, there will be a Photoshop link directly above, but if you're going to go the Photoshop route, I think that's $9.99 a month. I also recommend Roberto Blake Starter Kit. Now, I'm affiliated with Roberto Blake Starter Kit, and yes, I make a slight commission when I recommend it. So that is not why I'm recommending this to you. I use Roberto Blake Starter Kit myself. It has paid me massive dividends in both time and quality of thumbnails for both YouTube and for Udemy and Skillshare. Now, What it basically is, put simply, is obviously it's a tutorial course teaching you photo editing, which I haven't actually gone through yet, but I plan to. But more importantly than anything, it's going to save you a lot of time in creating your thumbnails. How's it going to save you a lot of time, and how's it going to help you make better thumbnails? Well, put simply, it comes with like 150 pre-made thumbnails and channel art for like your YouTube channel. So it comes with like, I think 100 pre-made YouTube thumbnails. And that doesn't mean that you're limited to 100. What it basically means is they're like templates, right? So you can plug in a picture and plug in the text. So he's basically got like a pre-made thumbnail. You switch out the text for what you want to say in the thumbnail. You switch out the picture for what you want to say in the picture. And it's got all these effects on it already. It looks great. So that basically means that you're not getting 100 pre-made thumbnails for your courses in your YouTube channel. You're getting like the potential to create thousands of pre-made thumbnails because it's plug and play, right? They're templates that look great already. And obviously, he has a Photoshop background and a photo editing background. Highly recommend that if you're serious about this, and as you go through the modules, you will see just the importance of, creating great course thumbnails and YouTube thumbnails. Highly recommend Roberto Blake's starter kit. Now on to lighting. So lighting does make a huge difference, believe it or not. It makes a massive difference, and it's one of the things that's going to kind of distinguish you as like a professional, right? So I recommend an umbrella light and ring lights. I use both of them. Currently, you can't see me right now because I decided to. I didn't want to like have you miss any of the certain information on this slide, so I didn't film myself in the corner. You will see me over in the corner right here talking in a majority of the lectures where I'm actually filming, on PC right now, like this. And you'll also see camera shots of me speaking in this course in this entire program. But right now, currently, for the majority of times when I'm filming, I'm using a ring light or umbrella lights. They are very easy and very valuable for a content creator. They make a massive difference in your lighting quality, and they will pay massive dividends in the way that your videos look. So like I said, umbrella lights and ring lights also linked above, but if you're just looking for a free alternative, if you don't want to put any money into lighting, I understand. Just, film near a window. Use natural light or film outside or film in a place where there's good natural lighting, and obviously you have to be time sensitive. Now, if you were going to take all these other things that we've talked about, right, and you were going to not invest in one of them, for starters, remember, all of these are important, but if you were going to not invest in one of these for starters, it should be lighting. Lighting makes a massive difference, but it's not more important than audio quality. It's not more important than like your editing. It's not more important than like your screen recording software or your potential, anything like that. If you were going to skimp on one of these, it should be lighting. But then obviously once you make money, and you should make it fairly quickly within a month or two, you should make profit-wise, invest in some lighting because it makes a massive difference. Now, tripods, finally, I recommend both small and big tripods. So like big tripods, I mean like the standalone ones that can be like as tall as you. And for that, I recommend the Ballon camera tripod. It's amazing quality. It's sturdy, it's flexible, it folds into a small little thing that you can carry anywhere, and it's massive. I have two of them. I have one where I film usually, and then I have one back at my apartment. I use a lot of different tripods, and Ballon, I found that this one's the best, and it's not that expensive for tripods. There's no free alternative here, but you can get a very cheap handheld one, like a super cheap handheld one on Amazon for like $10, and honestly, like, they're not the best, but they're not the worst either. Like, you can get away with it, and it'll hold your camera or your phone, just fine. So it's good on a table. It works fine. And even if you're not going to get the Ballon, I recommend getting a handheld one. And even if you do get the Ballon and you get a tall one, I also recommend a handheld one, just because it'll give you versatility, right? So depending on where you're filming, sometimes you'll be able to set up a big tripod, and sometimes you won't, and you'll need a little tripod that's sturdy. So I'm not going to recommend any little tripods. You can literally just Google, handheld tripod or handheld or camera tripod and see like the small ones. You'll see the difference. I'll pop a picture of a random one up on the screen right now. You can get like a handheld one, and you can also get a major, like big one, like the Ballon that I recommend. Both of those are going to pay massive dividends because obviously, unless you have somebody following you around like Gary Vee all the time with a camera, you're going to need a tripod that's going to hold your camera for you while you film.